Hi again, folks. We are back again today doing another art video. Don't exactly have a theme, however, so that's why, like the thumbnail shows, we're doodling. Uh, kind of wanted to just recreate those scratch drawing things from when we were all kind of kids and whatnot. So, yeah, I guess without further ado, let's see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can add to this entirely. I uh I just I've been practicing dream catchers for a couple of different reasons. Probably nothing that I'm gonna put like into a video, to be honest. But I really wanted to draw a dream catcher, but I wanted it to be a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more different than what I am normally doing. I didn't want to draw something like harsh lines and cartoony, so to speak. I kind of wanted to draw something a little bit more just kind of, I wanted to doodle, I guess, would be the best way to put it. So here I have taken all the colors that I wanted to have for my background, and I'm just kind of distorting them in ways to kind of get some good, like, flowing movement underneath the base colors that I have. You know, just kind of, it looks wild, but it really kind of is focused. It was me trying to ripple the entire thing and then go through and just spread these colors as far as I could. And then black it out. Then from here, I made a couple of tentative circles for what I wanted to draw, but I felt like I was get a little too far away to do anything like super good. So here we jump in and get nice and zoomed in. I know, a little hard to tell with the black screen as to where everything's at, but we're doing something that's a little more reductive on this video. So a lot of it is that it appears as time kind of passes on with it. Now, you'll notice that I don't realize that my lines aren't centered and that everything is super off proportionally until a good chunk of the way into doing this. So it ends up not looking super grand or even, but overall it's, if you weren't looking for it, you probably wouldn't notice it in the final product that comes. Just like right there, I was being a little hyper perfectionistic about it, which overall wasn't super bad, but it wasn't super great either. But now we're going through and we're just doing some in-betweens. Like I said, I didn't want any like super sharp lines like I normally get with the cartoon style drawings. I really just kind of wanted to doodle some things and see where it would take me. This drawing tablet that I have is still not super great, which means that there's room for me to improve with it more as I'm working. It's think like a dull pencil. Yeah, a dull pencil isn't going to give you the sharpest lines, but if you know what you're working towards with it, you can make it work for pretty much anything. This drawing pad, I guess, is a more similar term for what I'm thinking. It is my unsharpened pencil. Yes, it's not the greatest tool, but it works. And as I would practice with it more, the better I can get things taken care of with it. Like, even just at the increased speed that I do for the video, you can tell that I'm kind of rushing on some of these lines, and that's part of why they're a little jagged. But going in here, we are going to try to finish up our little details that we need for the Dreamcatcher itself. And these are going to be some of those hanging feathers with some beads on them. Can't forget the beads, even though they kind of, until I color them in, they kind of look like olives. Like pitted black olives. And really, it was just kind of me trying to draw, like, a stylized shine on there. Leave a comment if you'd like to let me know how that ends up turning out, because to me it looks passable enough. But I definitely see that there's room for improvement, especially with this last one here where it ends up being very oblong. And then even these feathers that I'm drawing, I'm not super experienced with drawing individual feathers. Larger wings is kind of a different thing because I know more or less what I need to do for the general structure. But individual feathers felt almost like I had to do something a little more cartoony. And for a good chunk here, they almost just look like Christmas bulbs. Which isn't to say that it's bad, but I definitely see places for improvement, especially watching back this feed. But yeah, so these fine little scratches on the ends are supposed to be kind of the individual little hairs? Would it be hairs? We're just gonna go with that. On the edge of the feather, where it kind of flutters and ripples out and whatnot. And zoomed out, like it was for a second, you can kind of, if you'd like, go back and pause it and you can see it better. But it does look a lot better than it does super close up. But then from here I kind of wanted to lean into the dream motif and kind of just put in some stars to help fill in some of that space. I inevitably go through here and I draw a crescent moon. I chose a bigger brush size just because I didn't want to have to fill in all that open space with a smaller brush. And then I went in and I sharpened up the points just a touch. I kind of just, on this one, it was, again, just leaning into that dream motif of, like, sleep and nightfall. I'm using a smaller brush size to kind of clean up those edges a little bit more, give it a little bit more prominent points. Again, one of those things where, without actively looking for it, you probably wouldn't see that it is a bit off on its on its shape. It is a little bit off on its shape. And then I always forget when I'm recording these things that you guys can't see that bottom left-hand corner all that much. In the thumbnail, you can see it much better, but it's just kind of a repeat of what's on that bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Just some kind of general design graphic thing. But I wanted to add a Harbinger, so I guess not even really Harbinger. I wanted to add a bird, so I put a bird. This one I am definitely on the fence about. And I would love feedback on how you guys think that it looks. But like with the beads, there were certain things that I thought that I maybe could have done a little bit better as I'm going through and I'm like rewatching this, because like that beak probably would have looked better just being the single shape and then only like partially cut into with color. But I still kind of like the big old toucan-y type of beak pointing up to the Dreamcatcher. I tried keeping it relatively similar proportion. These are just some kind of semi-pseudo surrealistic lines kind of help cut away some of that color a little bit more to showcase it a little bit better. Especially showing off from the moon there. Just some more stars, because I felt like that dead space was a little too dead, and I wanted to get it filled in a little bit more. I then added some just quick little shines, and with those, that'll about do it on this video, guys. So please, if you see parts of this that you really liked, or parts that you would like to see changed, feel free to leave me a comment down below. If you'd like to see my future content, feel free to subscribe. It's free. And if you just like the video but don't want to comment, hit the like button. Otherwise, bye.